don't scroll. If you live in the United States, or you're even thinking about making the US your home, the next few minutes could be the difference between a smooth approval and a painful delay. One memo you've never seen can freeze your work permit. One missed document can push your green card back months, and one wrong move at your door can turn a normal day into a crisis. If that sounds dramatic, good, because too many people learn it the hard way. Type freedom now in the chat. Tell me where you're joining from and stay with me to the end so you don't become someone else's cautionary tale. Welcome in, friends. I'm live from the US, and tonight we're going to talk about what's actually happening with immigration right now and what it means for you if your case is pending or you're about to file. This is for you if you have a work permit renewal hanging in the balance, a green card stuck in background checks, a naturalization interview that keeps getting pushed, or an advanced parole you're afraid to use. And if you're from a country that gets extra vetting, or you've heard the phrase adjudication hold, listen closely. Drop your city and your case type in the comments. EAD, I-485, N-400, I-130, I-140, I-131. Keep it interactive, and yes, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss these lives. Here's the table setting. Immigration in the US is not just forms and fingerprints. It's policy, funding, enforcement priorities, and court timelines colliding in real time. Sometimes DHS funding fights affect staffing and overtime. Sometimes litigation forces an agency to change course, and it takes months to show up in processing times. Sometimes local and federal agencies tighten coordination. Sometimes local leaders push back. So if you're staring at your case status page and seeing the same message for weeks, I need you to hear this clearly. Staying passive is not a strategy. The system rewards people who are organized, responsive, and proactive. That's what we're building tonight. Now, a reality check for anyone dealing with extra vetting or an adjudication pause. If you're from a country on a heightened screening list or under travel restrictions, you may see longer waits for work permits, green card decisions, or naturalization interviews. That doesn't automatically mean you did something wrong. It can be additional security checks. It can be an internal policy memo telling officers to hold certain cases while they review criteria. It can also be a service center that's simply overwhelmed. But here's the part most people miss. Patience without a paper trail is just waiting. Patience with documented proof becomes leverage. That leverage matters if you need help from a congressional office, the ombudsman, or an attorney deciding the best way to push your case forward. So, what do you do right now? You build the kind of case file that makes a stranger, an officer, a staffer, a judge, look at your situation and say, this person is organized. Open your phone notes app and write this down. Tonight you are creating 2 folders. Yuck. 1 digital and 1 physical. Your digital folder goes into your cloud of choice. Inside it, create subfolders labeled receipts, notices, evidence, RFE, attorney filings, status screenshots, expedite, medicals, travel, correspondence. Your physical folder should mirror the digital one as much as possible. Now here's the key move. On the very front of the physical folder, tape 1 sheet of paper called Timeline. On that page, list every major event in chronological order. The day you filed, the day you got your receipt, biometrics date, any RFE and when you responded, any medical exam, any interview, any service request, any congressional inquiry. Keep it to 1 page, because when someone asks, what's the history here? You slide that page over and they instantly understand your whole case. Next, maintenance. Once a month, pick a date you'll remember, log into your USCIS account and take a screenshot of the current status for every pending application. Rename each screenshot with the date and form number. If you call USCIS, write down the date and the service request number. If you submit an e-request, save the confirmation page and email. If you email your attorney, save the thread as a PDF into correspondence. If you contact your senator or representative, save their acknowledgement and follow-ups. This is how you turn scattered chaos into a clean, proof of progress file. Now let's talk about expedites, because I know a lot of you are thinking, should I try to expedite? An expedite request is not a magic wand, but it can work if you meet the criteria and you present it correctly. In most cases, you're looking at things like severe financial loss, urgent humanitarian reasons, nonprofit cultural or social interest, national interest, or clear USCIS error. If you can't clearly meet one of those categories with real evidence, don't waste your one good shot. But if you can, then you write a crisp one-page cover letter. At the top, your receipt number, the benefit you want expedited, your basis, and a bullet point summary of what you're attaching. If it's financial loss, include employer letters explaining exactly what is at risk, payroll proof, bank statements showing the effect, and documentation of deadlines or contracts. If it's humanitarian or medical, include recent detailed provider letters, treatment plans, appointment schedules, and evidence showing why timing matters. If it's a USCIS error, highlight the discrepancy with clean copies of what they got wrong. Don't write a novel. Dates, facts, evidence. Let your exhibits do the heavy lifting. Now, let's address the fear content that spreads online. Videos of heavily armed teams at someone's door, posts claiming ICE can break in with any paper, sensational clips designed to trigger panic. Fear is a natural response to confusing power, but your best counter is knowledge and a plan. If officers show up at your home, you have the right to ask to see a warrant signed by a judge. Administrative paperwork is not the same as a judicial warrant. Here is a calm door script you can practice so you don't freeze. Through the closed door, you say, "I do not consent to entry. Do you have a warrant signed by a judge? Please slide it under the door." You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to speak to an attorney. You are not required to sign anything you don't understand. You should never physically resist. You should never lie. Stay calm and keep your voice even. And you should have a family plan in place. That plan is not an admission of guilt. It's responsible. If you have kids, update the school pickup authorization list. Prepare a simple letter authorizing a trusted adult for emergency pickup. Keep copies of birth certificates, IDs, insurance cards, and medical instructions. Put essential medications in a labeled pouch. Create a small go bag in one location. Some cash, copies of critical documents, emergency contacts, and a simple instruction sheet for whoever might help. Pick a family code word like blue folder. That means activate the plan. The goal is not fear. The goal is removing chaos. Now travel and advance parole. If you're thinking about traveling or even self-departing, stop and get legal advice before you move. Depending on your history, leaving the US can trigger bars or complicate a pending application in ways you didn't expect. Advance parole can be a powerful tool, but it is not a 100% guarantee of re-entry for every person in every situation. Get a tailored risk assessment based on your exact facts, entry and exit dates, prior orders, arrests or citations, and your current application type. A short consultation can save you from a decision you can't easily reverse. Now, for those dealing with extra vetting or an adjudication hold, here's your escalation ladder. Number 1, do not panic. Number 2, do not go silent. Number 3, do not rely on rumors. Do these steps in order. If your case is outside normal processing times, file an e-request. If that goes nowhere, consider a respectful, organized inquiry through your senator or representative's constituent services team. Your one-page timeline and neat packet make their job easier, and when you make their job easier, they actually help you. If that still doesn't move things and it fits, consider an ombudsman request with a clear summary and exhibits. And in some situations, where a policy is broadly freezing cases, some people explore litigation with qualified counsel. Not for everyone, no guarantees, but it exists for a reason. Now, quick checklists by category, because a lot of you are in different buckets. If you're employment-based, keep a clean folder with your I-140 approval or receipt, perm history if applicable, job description, offer letter or employment verification letter, and recent pay stubs. If your EAD is delayed, get an employer letter describing specific harm now, lost projects, penalties, missed start dates, so you're not scrambling later. If you're self-employed, Document contracts, invoices, bank statements, and tax compliance. If you're family-based, especially marriage-based, remember bona fides are not a one-time submission. Keep updating your file with joint leases or mortgage, joint bank statements, joint tax returns, insurance with both names, recent photos with date, location, travel proof, and credible affidavits. If you're an F1 student on OPT or STEM OPT, treat your DSO like a critical ally. Keep SEVIS updates current. Save emails. Update address and employer changes immediately. Keep your I-983 tidy. Save pay stubs and proof of actual work. If you're in asylum or removal proceedings, organization is your lifeline. Keep your country conditions file updated. Keep therapy or counseling letters if relevant. Track EAD timelines and renew early. Practice your narrative so it stays consistent and true. Never make anything up. Credibility is everything. If you're approaching naturalization, track continuous residence and physical presence now, not the week before filing. If you have tax balances, get on a payment plan and document it. If you have traffic tickets or misdemeanors, gather certified dispositions and be ready to explain exactly what happened. Now, a scam warning, because scammers love panic. If someone says guaranteed approval in 30 days, that's a red flag. If someone demands cash with no written agreement, walk away. Verify licensing. Get everything in writing. Good professionals explain risks and probabilities. They don't promise outcomes they can't control. Finally, let's protect your mental health while you do all this. Build micro habits. I call it your immigration admin hour. Once a week for 20 minutes, update your timeline, file new emails into the right folder, rename documents consistently, note deadlines, send one check-in if needed. That's it. No doom scrolling, no calling USCIS every day, just steady maintenance. Pair it with an accountability buddy and text them after. Updated timeline, saved 2 letters, took status screenshot. Small habits change outcomes. Now I want to hear from you. Type freedom now in the chat and tell me your city and one step you're taking tonight. Creating folders, building your one-page timeline, or taking your first status screenshots. I'll close with this. Being organized is not the same as being lucky, and it beats luck every single time. The system notices professionalism. Officers notice clean, complete files. Staffers notice when you make their job easier. Judges notice facts, not drama. You may not control the speed of the machine, but you control the quality of what you put into it and the persistence of your follow-through. That's your edge. This is general information, not legal advice. Your case is unique, so always get guidance from someone qualified and licensed in the US. Stay informed, stay organized. Protect your rights with calm confidence. I'll see you on the next live. Until then, take care, stay safe, and remember, you've got this.